Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is Intelligent Systems and Omega Force's newest release on the Nintendo Switch, offering an alternative timeline from the original Fire Emblem 3 Houses. This Musou hack-and-slash action RPG is now the third official release of this type. The first entry was Hyrule Warriors back on the Wii U and the 3DS, followed by Fire Emblem Warriors on the Switch and 3DS, and 3 Hopes is for the first time a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Right out of the gate, fans of 3 Houses will find a lot to like in this package. Folden is in war once again, and within all of the strife and turmoil, a certain Ash Demon is surely renowned. You, however, play not as Byleth, but Shez, a mercenary hired to take down a certain renowned warrior. After being walloped by Byleth, you mysteriously obtain the powers granted to you by Arvel. That for spoiler purposes, we won't delve too deep into the background, but consider them this game's Sothis. Soon after, you cross paths with the students of Garreg Mach Monastery, Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude. One thing that I do have to mention is that the story is constantly teasing itself, and you can certainly expect, just like in 3 Houses, to have one rather basic goal put forth, but have plenty of derails and detours along the way. What's great here is that just like Persona 5 Strikers before it, which was a Musou at heart, 3 Hopes takes far much from the original source to round out its experience. For starters, once you're back at the monastery, you're given the choice to pick a house between from either the Blue Lions, Golden Deer, or the Black Eagles, where soon after your daily life as a student will begin. Each chapter consists of exploration and combat sequences that culminate with a fight of an important character that you've probably crossed paths with before. But don't worry though, there's plenty of smaller skirmishes leading up to it. This is where the usual Fire Emblem offerings begin to flourish. Instead of the monastery, you're now in charge of a camp where you'll basically be crafting weapons, buying items, trading with merchants, expanding the camp, training with your allies of whichever house you decided to choose from, earn support via morale systems with each one of the students, change classes, master weapons, take on explorations, socializing and conversating with fellow students, cooking. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And don't think for a second that this is a bread and butter Musou game. It's far from that. Returning fans will feel right at home, where newcomers could feel a little bit overwhelmed with just the sheer amount of offerings at your disposal at any given moment. It is worth noting that you only have a certain amount of ability points and training points awarded to you in each one of the chapters, so making sure who to spend time with and who to train is key as you raise your social skills with each of the students. Amongst the difficulty parameters, you can set permadeath on, so each one of the encounters take on a much more crucial role. However, the exact opposite is also possible if you set your difficulty to easy and you just wish to enjoy the story. The core of combat consists of taking down captains of a specific zone and then eventually a boss of an encounter, like in most Musous. I'm personally all about cleaning out the map and flipping it fully blue before I can finally begin to engage the boss, some of which can be massive creatures that take a bit more to take down. Along the way, breaking jars and picking up extra boosters is always a good choice. The minute-to-minute gameplay consists of light attacks comboed into heavies, and varies on how many light attacks you use before using your heavy attack for some variations. Add to that the special attacks and of course supers, and you have yourself a Musou special. Casters do feel extremely different than most characters, and that includes mounted fighters that can also ride dragons, Pegasus, horses, which they basically makes them feel and move a little bit faster around the map. Assigning allies to a specific location or versus specific enemies is a big plus. The whole pause menu I think is a fantastic touch and a huge step up from what we've seen in previous Musous. It feels more user friendly while keeping things simple and to the point. Either have a character chase you around or send them off in their very own specific area to eventually rendezvous at a boss encounter. It's a nice touch. One of the sticking points with many Musous on the Nintendo Switch is performance. While I'm glad to report that it's mostly consistent while not excellent. Essentially, it runs native resolution at 30 frames per second most of the time, with some hitching during specific hectic scenes. And to some of you who were concerned that it could run as bad as Age of Calamity, worry not. I recently reviewed Emblem Warriors on the Nintendo Switch and praised it for its performance. This feels very similar to that entry. Cutscenes specifically stand out, and even the dialogue conversations between characters look fantastic. There are, however, some texture issues out on the field as you're exploring varied locations that perhaps some of the assets aren't high resolution enough, or basically to keep performance up, they decided to dial back the visuals. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is exactly what you would have expected from the third entry of what seems to be an ongoing spin-off series of a fantastic franchise. All of the characters from the main game are here, and it feels good to see them again, albeit in a different format from what you're traditionally used to seeing. Nintendo Sphere gives Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes on the Nintendo Switch an 8 out of 10. If you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.